The most dangerous threat to our American way of life is the American
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have a good one, dude. I got some fucking classic editing going on, dog. Fucking,
Right.
it's gonna be really fucking hilarious.
Well, let me run it down to you, communist, homosexual, faggot, dipshit, motherfucker. Fuck you! That's why! Cause fuck you! That's why! Cause helmets suck! That's why! And commies like you swallow! That's why! Fuck Pete Wilson! That's why! Fuck Dick Floyd! That's why!
Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. So today we're going to be talking about old Biddens and KARINE Jean-Pierre, and just catching up on a whole bunch of the stuff that we've been kind of missing these last 2 weeks. Again, you guys, we do apologize. We do have regular lives that we do have to attend to as well, and so do apologize for the bit of a length in between these shows, but we do appreciate you guys watching. We are back in business, and let's be it. Before we get into all that, as always, you guys, let's get into this right quick. So, the Spirit of America speech. What'd you think of that one, man? What's your impressions?
I think it was absolutely fucking anti-American, and I think the guy's trying to provoke action. I think it's the old Saul Alinsky method of projection.
Yep. Yep. Is all of about 5 minutes of about how great America is, and then all the rest of it was fucking pure. Just these MAGA Republicans, they're insane. There's pure fucking insanity. We can't even have this. It's I think of course a lot of it is he knows that he's about to start getting impeachment hearings after the midterms, and so of course he's trying to prevent that as much as possible by trying to say like, oh, like I've worked with some great Republicans. Like, yeah, no, you've worked with some fucking cuck ass Republicans. Those are the only ones that you like, and so that's the
yeah,
problem.
by great Republicans he means Cheney and fucking Mittens, dude.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then on top of that, is the carry on over onto basically demonizing the opposite political party because MAGA at this point is pretty much the majority of the Republican Party,
Right.
and we seem to remember some other political figures throughout history, that demonized the opposing political movements or figures.
Yep.
Didn't work out that well.
Right. Right. Fucking yeah, he's over here trying to say that the MAGA Republicans, they're a small group of the Republican Party. He's trying to say that they're basically the fringe Republicans, but ultimately they've, I guess, more or less taken over the party, especially come midterms. They're definitely going to be the major majority of the Republican Party. Yeah, he's feeling the fear from that, and then plus with everything going on with the FBI right now, they're ousting people as being polarized and making decisions based on political bias, doing investigations based on political bias, sweeping things under the rug based on political bias, and of course he's gonna try and say, oh, I had nothing to do with that. Like, of course not. Of course, fucking complete plausible deniability. But the people, we're not that dumb.
That's why they're grasping at straws with anything they can. I mean, they've moved on to fucking document hoarding now, or they think that they might have had malintention with moving documents. Your opinion actually plays no role in it, so it's pretty obvious. It's just grasping and desperation, obvious, but at the same time, it is like political terrorism, and it's moving the whole country in a direction that I'd say the vast majority of us don't want to go, man.
Right. Right. It's there's a reason that he's afraid of the now majority, and it's, I mean, we're seeing clearly he wants a one party America, basically, which is basically the opposite of what America should be. America, we're built on debate. That's the way that we figure things out. That's the way that we resolve issues. That's the way that we come to agreements and stuff. And yeah, basically he wants to well, it's supposed to be, but that's he seems like he wants to completely, if anybody that opposes him or anything like that, or not so much opposes him, but just opposes the party, then they're a danger to democracy, when it's really just a danger to the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and of course, they're reverting back to that, trying to pound it into people's head that we live in a democracy.
Right.
And I mean, I was amazed to actually hear Biden say Republic in the speech today. He did. But
Yep.
then, of course, old KARINE came right out and started, democracy. You got to think democracy, So,
Right.
they always do that. They backtrack for them. You know what I mean?
Right. Speaking of which, somewhat off topic and a bit unrelated, but what was her name? Fucking talking about oh shit, I can't even remember her fucking name right now. Oh, Lizzo, fucking talking about like when you're casting your vote for who you want, make sure it's a vote for saving rights and shit like that. Like, you're like, what the fuck does that have to do with VMAs? Then she's talking about like when you're voting for the VMAs, make sure it's something that pertains to like voting in the real world. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I would assume she was probably actually talking about casting the votes for, fucking. Was it really about the awards,
Oh,
or
yeah.
was that? Yeah, I
No,
mean
no,
that makes it fucking hilarious, right?
No,
But
that's what I mean.
she did go on to say something about being oppressed, which is even funnier.
Right, right. That's what I mean. It had nothing to do with actual music awards. It was clearly she was trying to politicize everything, much like we're seeing a lot with pop culture right now. I mean, everyone totally agrees, as Trump would say. Everybody totally agrees. Politics has become pop culture these days. It's
Yeah, for sure.
and that's why you're seeing, I think, a lot of the original actors, artists, comedians, musicians and stuff like that. They're especially ones that are politically opinionated. They're kind of just going into hiding now. If they're not going into hiding, as in like they're art form of comedy or music or whatever it is, then they're starting their own political podcasts and things like that. But it's basically the counterculture and not counterculture, the cancel culture and the woke culture and all that. It's really killed art. And I don't know. Luckily I think it's coming to a head, and I think it's I'm hoping this whole fucking woke movement is going to, I don't know, start to collapse soon. At least that's my hope.
I mean, I would imagine that's a big majority's hope, and I hope that you're right, and I hope that we're not going on a fucking Tim Pool rally. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really, because it seems like the pressure is building, like you're saying, it's coming to a head. But then you have the obvious, leadership of one side really pressing for action, because they want something to happen so they can use violence and then say,
Right.
see, it's because of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
All right. When I say coming to a head, I mean hopefully, of course, obviously not coming to a head as in where violence or anything like that is going to occur. I mean, like, just coming to a head as in people miss laughing. People miss fucking watching
Yeah.
good movies. I mean, people miss listening to music about how should I put it, off color topics and stuff. People, I don't know. At least I would hope so. I sure fucking miss good music and good movies and good shows and shit like that. It's the whole woke culture. It's completely destroyed everything great about America's number one export, which is culture.
Yeah, and our art is supposed to be an imitation of life, right? And it's at that point where like you're saying, it's killed art, it's killing life, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not even allowed to show what true life is like anymore because it's fucking offensive to somebody. I mean, how ridiculous is that shit, man?
Right.
I mean, they got to find adversity in any way, shape, or form, and that's why fucking mayonnaise is racist. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. It's it's clearly a symptom of an over-coddled society, where basically people don't think that life should require adversity. People don't think that life should require struggle. People don't think that you should have to, people think that you should only be able to experience joy, never having to experience sorrow, which can't have one without the other. You know, you can't have light without the dark. You know, you can't
Right.
have good without bad. You can't understand and experience joy until you've understood and experienced sorrow. You know, that's it just is what it is. You know, and like I feel like society, you know, as of the last few decades has just been too coddled, you know, especially as we see, you know, our grandparents fucking reverse mortgaged our fucking futures, and we're reaping the benefits now. You know, it's basically this
Yeah.
whole society that's like, oh well, you know, like, oh yeah, no, times are tough, well just print more money. Yeah, we'll just do that for the next 40, 50, 60 years, and you know, we'll let them deal with it. Well, we're the generations that's dealing with it now, and like you say, it's this whole coddled society. It's again coming to a head. You know, things are starting to reveal themselves for what they really are. You know.
I see it as a culmination of two different fucking ways. Like one is definitely, you know, kind of like you're saying, and the other is the children of opulent kings. Because if you think about it, it's, you know, we as Americans live better, you know, than any king in ancient times, you know, in any monarch's time, and you know, it's our children are the repercussions of that. And that's the reason, like I said, they search for adversity because they haven't found one. The worst thing that they've had to face is fucking mean comments online. I mean, you see, like it's literally there's suicides chalked up to, well, he was bullied online. How fucking weak are you, dude? Dude,
Right.
I had this shit kicked out of me multiple times as a kid for no reason at all, man.
Right.
I fucking got up and went to school the next day, dog.
Yep. Shit, exactly. And probably fucking 10 times better for it too. You know. I mean,
Yeah.
right? You know, fucking kids these days just haven't had their ass kicked enough. You know, it's like I say, coddled society. You know.
Thin skin, man. It makes you tougher for sure.
Right. Fucking bullies do serve a purpose. You know, as
To an extent, man. I mean, in reality, you're born for adversity, man. You're born as the protector. You're born for war. You're born to be a provider, a father, a hunter. You know what I mean? And all that obviously has been taken away with so-called progress. And so the male instinct yearns for that kind of shit when you're young and full of testosterone, man.
right, right. But so let's get on to old KARINE Jean-Pierre and her beautiful words of wisdom as of late. So what you want to go ahead and lay in on her?
Well, I'm going to start off with one saying she has absolutely no morals, right? Because she came from the whole Bernie Sanders side of the loony left, man. And now she works for, you know, someone that's been an out and out racist for fucking decades, and is the antithesis for everything that she supposedly stands for. And then on top of that, I don't know if she believes half the shit she says, if she's, you know, completely dumb to what happens around her, or if she's just a bold-faced fucking horrible liar.
Well, that's literally what her job title entails. Just be the biggest bold-faced liar in America. That's literally.
I mean, you know, pretty much, you know, your job is spin for sure.
Right.
But I mean, it's blatant. I mean, like I said, yeah, she will piss on you and tell you it's raining while looking you in the eyes, watching you watch her, you know, piss, dude.
Right.
Like it's
Right, like with Ducey, dude, straight fucking called her. You know, like what do you mean they're not walking across? That's literally what they're doing. Literally, like not even
and
figuratively.
it commences.
Right.
They're two different things. They're two different things.
But so how is it two different things? Somebody unvaccinated comes over on a plane. You say that's not okay. Somebody walks into Texas or Arizona unvaccinated. They're allowed to stay. Why?
But that's not how it works. Like we actually,
That's what's
no.
happening. I know that that's not what you guys want to happen, but that is what is happening.
But that's not, it's not like somebody walks over and that's not how
exactly what's happening.
well,
Thousands of people are walking in a day. Some of them turn themselves over. Some of them are caught. Tens of thousands a week are not. That is what is happening.
Did you see the look on her fucking face, man?
Right. It's just like. Moving on now.
Yeah.
Right.
Between dumbfounded and hate.
Absolute ridiculousness, man. So,
Yeah, but she's fallen into old habits. Everything's racist, bro.
right. Right.
right?
Shit, I don't know if you have it. Fucking go ahead and send me that fucking. I think you made a supercut, right, with fucking her saying everything is racist back from her broadcasting days.
Trump was a white supremacist in 2011 when he decided to be the grand wizard of the birther movement. Birtherism, which is inherently racist. They want to put up these awful voter registration, voter suppression laws, which is racism, to make it difficult for people of color to vote. And voter suppression is racism. That's exactly what it is. Xenophobia and racism has always played a role in outbreaks. If you look at SARS, if you look at Ebola, if you look at yellow fever or Spanish flu.
Absolute fucking pure left wing comedy. You know, it's I guess that you could call it satire coming from the fucking the Biden White House, man.
Yeah, and the Republican Party has become their 2 minutes of hate.
Yep. It's I don't know, man. It's what do you think's a possible future? Because I don't know. Do you like I said, I've made previous predictions in previous episodes that maybe the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party are going to collapse and then just of course be replaced with two new parties that are eventually going to fall into something that we don't like as well. But I don't know, what do you think is going to actually happen? Maybe the next decade.
Well, I think, well, as far as the decade, it's hard to tell at this point, man, because so many executive actions have been put in place by the last few presidents that truly don't kick in until the late 2020s, early 2030s, when they knew that they'd be either completely senile or in a grave,
right?
When the true effects are felt, so you really don't know. But the best I think we can hope for in the near future is an obvious rollover. I'm not a shilling for the Republican Party, right? Fuck them too. Right. But anything to stop the current downtrend. And I think that if we can get enough in, at least we can make Biden a lame duck.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, obviously Biden's a fucking a lame duck, if not a fucking a vegetized duck. By the next couple years. I mean, we're clearly seeing he's been cognitive decline, but we're still seeing the decline continue to go.
Right, but someone's behind him flapping them wings for the crowd, bro.
Right, weekend at Biden's, man. Right,
bed riddance with biddens, dude.
Exactly, man. And, I don't know if I can. I don't know. I'm hoping something changes, obviously, but I don't know. There's a good chance that the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party can kind of come together and again start smoothing things over in order to save both of their skins. You know what I mean? Ultimately, they are still the ones that have the power. If they want to stop highly politicizing America and just kind of let things calm back, let the waters calm a little bit, they can do it by working together. Or working against each other, but
do you think they can with how polarized the actual population is? I mean, not necessarily the majority, but the exterior on the right and left.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not too sure. I mean, it's gonna be quite a feat. There's gonna be some major finagling on their part, but I don't really know. I really don't know. I mean, it depends how politically awakened the people are. It depends, cause we're seeing there's a nice influx of political awakening going on right now, but once things go back to normal, things are going to go back to normal, unfortunately, So that's why I'm kind of getting this little, at least little bit of a vibe that like, yeah, man, maybe they're going to fucking try to calm down the over politicizing going on in America, and trying to utilize true and international pressure, and
I think they'd have to call. I think both sides would have to call a little bit, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you got the loudmouths on both sides, and both of them are screaming shit at each other that neither are ever going to try to negotiate on or ever going to even come close to agreeing on.
Right. Right. That's why I feel like, man, mudslinging should be illegal. I mean, I don't know, maybe not illegal, but it should be at least a lot more looked down upon. I mean, especially like presidential debates. Like we're literally deciding the future of the country, and we have these two people just talking about each other's over past character flaws and stuff like that. Which ultimately, yes, it is important, but I believe that the presidential debates, they should be more trying to point out their actual perspective on issues rather than just sitting there and arguing with each other. I mean, not so much sitting there and arguing with each other. Sorry, I just brought a beer, but more just like I say, sitting there and just having name calling and having it's basically the presidential debates and political debates and things like that. It's degraded from people debating issues, and it's more people debating each other's character. It's more just like I say, it's popularity contests rather than who's actually better for the country.
Right.
And
yeah, I can agree. I hate to say it though, but I think in my lifetime, I know that there was some serious mudslinging back in the day, the Tammany Hall, crazy old black and white politics. But in current times, I got, as much as I hate to say it, I think it pretty much stems with Trump, bro. I mean, like I've watched debates for some years, at least over a decade. And Trump's the only one I've ever seen kind of like name call and, mudsling and, like traipse the fucking stage, like without decorum,
Right.
And then it devolved Biden into trying to match his energy,
Right. Well, I mean, it's no secret. Trump was never a politician until he became a politician. So
right.
I guess that's where the whole his side of mean tweets and whatever his new version of mudslinging that he did usher in, which I do agree it's not good. Like I say, if anything, it's devolved the presidential debates, and it's just the new style. It's all bad stuff. But I forgot where I was going, man. I'm starting to get a little bit blazed.
It was, I mean, I agree to an extent, but at the same time, when seeing him on stage with fucking old fucking Hills, dude, and, he told her, she's like, we're lucky that this man is in the position of power or something to that effect. And he says, because you'd be in jail.
Right.
Like, great,
that one was
great.
Was
I
classic.
mean,
classic.
Right. Bring the fucking house down. But we see how it's worked out for him since then. He's been fucking public enemy number one since that fucking time, I'd have to say.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I forgot who it was. I mean, we watched too many damn shows, but I forgot who it was. But they pointed out the idea that he said that he would have her arrested, and then he didn't pull the trigger, and then now
right.
the other the power's in the other hand, and they're attempting to pull the trigger as much as possible, but apparently it's just fucking clicking. They're doing everything they can to have Trump arrested for anything, just to disqualify him from being able to run again. And all the shit that they're flinging out the wall, not a single one is sticking. And that's why I feel Biden came out this time and literally the entire speech was just about how much he hates Trump. It wasn't really about anything having to do with the spirit of America. It's literally an entire speech about how much he fucking hates Trump.
Right. Yeah. I heard a constitutional attorney talking about the situation, and he was blatantly saying, and he wasn't being biased. He said, I'm just a constitutional attorney. This has anything to do with my personal political views. You know what I mean? It's like a disclaimer kind of thing. And he went on to say that not only is it exactly what they didn't charge Hillary for, but that Hillary's case was much worse, obviously, because there's proof that it was on a server that was unsecured, that was hacked. Right. That was part of the DNC leak. You know what I mean? And so not only did she have top secret information, classified information, but it was leaked out, and they didn't do anything. And they tried to say, oh well, we didn't want to do it this time to affect the election, and like we did previously, and they did affect it previously. I'd say more in favor of Hillary than Trump, for the simple fact that they exonerated her. They were like, there was no ill intent. This is basically just like, a little boo-boo. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they try to act like as if that tilted the field toward Trump. The fucking opposite, in my view, man. Right. They tried to clear her name.
Yeah.
So, where I was going with that, obviously, is they've been working for her with that party. I'm not going to say like the Clintons are ultra powerful. I'm not an idiot, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that they've been working with that political side of the spectrum. So even if Trump tried or wanted to actually do something while in office, they stifled the dude from taking the shit half the time, right?
Right.
So and now you see what they're doing. So they're like, man, we really got to get this dude because he doesn't got to face re-election.
Right.
So
we were talking a couple days ago, and you made a good point about Trump's previous presidency, that he was stifled every single turn that he made, but this time around, if he does run again in 2024, and he does win in 2024, he's going to have a majority party, or he's going to have a majority House in Senate at the time. So it's he's pretty much at that point going to be almost unfettered to do whatever he to push through whatever he really wants. And like we say, that could be a good, or could be really bad. It really all depends on which way he takes it. So what's your thoughts on that one?
I mean, bro. It definitely could go good or bad. It could go bad because he's obvious authoritarian, right? Mm-hmm. I believe in taking the guns first, due process later. He supports red flag laws, ban the bump stock, wants to reinstate stop and frisk. So it could be a terrible thing, but at the same time, if he was unfettered with the economy, right. I mean, look what he did in that case. I mean, right. We could be fucking laced up with gold come, this, 2028. Right. You know what I mean? But, right. It's a 50-50.
But, so his whole drug war and stuff that he's trying to reenact and stuff like that. I I say quite often, presidents, they promise the moon and then they'll come back with a meteor, right? So I believe that really, if he does start really trying to go after that perspective, like I said, I've made a couple videos on Trump's position on his on domestic drug dealers and domestic drug users, and how he wants to have them all executed just like they do in old China. But of course, like I said, he's going to promise the moon and come back with a meteor, right? If anything, if he does at least get to start, and maybe start focusing on the other side of the border, maybe that'd be pretty cool. Maybe he actually might be able to get stuff done. But I highly doubt, any, fucking, Congress is ever going to let him start executing, American citizens based on their drug use. I highly doubt that there's any amount of power that he could wield that is ever going to allow him to do that. So ultimately, I feel that it could be all right. Like maybe, like I say, if he focuses on the other fucking side of the wall, and if he focuses on building the wall, then I mean, I guess I don't really have too much of a problem with it, other than the fact that what he would try to do for American citizens is longer jail terms, longer prison sentences, and I ain't trying to fucking pay for people to fucking live on the taxpayer dollar just because of the fact that they like to get high. You know what I mean? I think it's like you just said, there's not enough evangelicals in the Republican Party that he'd be able to get something like that passed, man. Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like it probably wouldn't be very hard for him to get past stiffer sentences for first time offenders, things like that. It probably wouldn't be too difficult for him to push through larger mandatory minimums and other things like that as well. That's not like I really have anything to worry about. I mean, maybe I did in my younger days. Maybe instead of doing a couple years in prison, I would have done a handful of years in prison. But ultimately, I'm a family guy now, so really, it doesn't really affect me too much. But at the same time, I can't really be thinking that way because it does affect people that I know. It does affect people that I grew up with. It does affect a lot of people that I really do care about. And so of course, I don't want to see first time drug offenders going to fucking prison for fucking 5-10 years, things like that. So that's where I'm kind of like on it. But at the same time, if he focuses on the other side of the wall, focuses on building the wall, then cool. Just as long as he doesn't get too over authoritarian on the American people. But
I think the majority of the country's moved too far towards prison reform to really have to worry about something like that getting through. And when you say concentrate on the other side of the wall, what do you mean?
Designating the narco terrorists as narco terrorists, as actual
Okay.
terrorists. You know, like I believe we were talking the other day too. About people that they're coming over seeking asylum because of the terrorists that they're dealing with the cartels, but yet at the same time we will not designate them terrorists. So how are they actually asylum seekers? It's a weird like circle. So in order to be seeking asylum, they have to be under tyranny from terrorist organizations or a tyrannical government, and okay, we'll bring you over for asylum. But at the same time, we won't designate the organization that is oppressing them as terrorists. So we're just going to keep allowing them to just keep pouring in and pouring in and pouring in and pouring in under our dollar and saying, oh, we're protecting them from the terrorists, but they're not really terrorists. It's a, like I say, if you just designate them fucking terrorists and then go fucking deal with it, it's mutually beneficial for us and Mexico. But then again, you and I both know that the the United States government will never fucking end the war, the war on drugs. The cartel is as much their friend just as much as it is their enemy.
Yeah, I think the United States government loves terrorists.
Right.
I think it keeps money rolling, and it keeps fear, and fear obviously helps control people. And I totally agree with what you're saying. They are terrorists, especially with the whole fentanyl situation. They're purposely just killing in mass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's for real mass murder.
Yep.
And you gotta use armed forces for what they're really for, man.
Right.
Instead of guarding poppy fields in Afghanistan, they should be taking these fools out. You send a couple of SEAL teams in, and it's a wrap, huh? I mean, yeah, it's going to leave a vacuum. I know that's always the excuse. Well, there'll be a vacuum of power, and someone's going to fill it. Well, I mean, repeat, dude.
Right.
Repeat, wash and repeat, bro.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean that's not. I mean, and especially like how both parties seem to want to move us more towards like a North American Union type situation. So if you want to, incorporate Mexico with the United States, if that were ever to happen, you're going to have to deal with them anyway.
Yep.
So why not do it now before they're 10 times more powerful than they are at this point?
Exactly. If I can nip it in the bud, man, because either way, we're going to have to. And at the same time, aren't we a super world police? Like, then why aren't we fucking helping our neighbors who the Mexican government is powerless against the fucking cartels, and they admit it on the regular, they admit it that they're outgunned and outmanned when it comes to fucking fighting the cartel, but we won't go liberate them, right? And they're literally next door to us, and the terrorists are literally like you just said, committing mass murder on American citizens at this very moment. But we won't.
I don't know if it's allowed. I don't know if it's allowed on YouTube, man, but they're fucking outgunned by the cartel because of the previous fucking administration in the old Fast and Furious fucking gun running scheme, bro. Yep. You know what I mean?
That's what I say,
fucking man. America armed them again.
They're as much their friends as much as they are their enemies. It's keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, because they'll help make you some money.
Yeah, governments have nowhere near the same amount of power if there's not fear involved.
Right. So
if it's not coming from externally, it's going to come from internally. And now we're starting to see that right now with fucking anyone that doesn't agree with my political position is a fucking threat to democracy and fucking is a possible domestic terrorist, fucking semi-fascist.
Right. You need to go send in the FBI and go raid them and fucking start investigating parents who speak out at school boards, and start investigating anybody in search of a crime that we don't agree with. Like, it's
America. Fuck yeah.
Coming again to save the motherfucking day. Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't say that, right? I love damn America, man. I'm just fucking ashamed of my damn government.
Right.
And I'd love to pimp smacks my hoes.
Right. Right, man. But I don't. Again, fucking the whole Trump issue, like I said, fucking I like his policies. I like, other than a select few, of course, but when it comes to the economic policies, dude, get up in there, bro. Handle business.
Right.
You're a fucking businessman. Take care of business. But I don't know. That's what I say. I guess I'm for Trump, but at the same time, if anybody else wants to step up, anybody else fucking Rand, you out there? Like
I was gonna go that route, except for it'd be cool if he could get a vice president with him that actually has some nuts and some political pull himself. That could be right there, going, "Yo, man, fuck is your problem, dude? That's not gonna fly, son." You know what I mean? You get a Rand, something like that, a Massey behind him. I mean, I don't think a Massey would be a winning ticket, but it would definitely be a voice in his ear of reason. You know?
Right. But so, what's your thoughts on old DeSantis, or Death Santis, as the libtards like to call him?
He's a 50-50 again, man.
Right.
I mean, he's a red flag kind of guy. He believes in a lot of shit that I definitely do not support. But at the same time, he has the freest state in the country, and I believe he just set a record for state surplus.
Yeah.
Like 21.1 billion this year, fucking surplus, man.
Damn.
So,
yeah,
killing it.
Yeah. Like I say, I'd definitely be for DeSantis as well.
Yeah, and he knows how to choke the fucking media out immediately. As soon as they start to get on their bullshit, bro, he shuts them down.
Right. And another thing too is he doesn't have as much controversy circling him as Trump does. Again, in order to kind of calm down the hyperpolarization in America that we're seeing, everywhere, everyone's screaming civil wars and stuff like that. If like I say, if Trump does get elected, I love the guy's economic policies and all that stuff. It's just a lot of people don't give a shit about his policies. Like I say, the presidency is a popularity contest, and it's if anything, it's going to further push this hyperpolarization in America, and it's just going to be something that the media is just going to eat up, and it's just everyone's just going to be glued to their televisions just to see the next what's Trump doing now? Thinking there's going to be a whole other fucking generation of fuck Donald Trump songs and all this and that type shit, and it's just again going to continue driving that wedge deeper through America. I mean, DeSantis, he does have some controversy surrounding him, but at the same time, everything that he's really done, especially with COVID policy, dude, fucking hat tip, man. Good job. There's not really much you could say about the guy.
But 95% of all the so-called controversy surrounding Trump is fucking hyperbole and propaganda, man.
Right.
It really is, bro.
Right.
I mean, he's not a fucking mob boss. He's not a fucking criminal mastermind. He's not fucking, you know what I mean? He's not fucking 007 fucking from the KGB, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like the shit that they've come up with is laughable, right? I mean, even this document thing, if they would have went there first, like this nigga's selling fucking secrets. You know what I mean? They would have been more believable than the shit that they've got, the whole plethora of shit that they've gone through, from pissing on beds to fucking tapes to fucking, you know what I mean? Bribe phone calls. I mean, on and on and on, man.
Right. It's just, yeah, it's all just a bunch of fucking malarkey,
Yeah, if we could just get motherfuckers to read, actually look up quotes, watch videos, shit like that, and they realize that all this shit that they've been fed over the last 6 years is bullshit. And if you want to hate Trump, we got a whole nother list of shit that you could actually hate him for. You know what I mean?
Right. So speaking on that subject, let's go into censorship, man. So what do you think? So I came up with this idea that a lot of the people on the left and stuff, I think we're actually talking about it and stuff. A lot of the younger liberals on the left and stuff, they'll come and like try and like share a meme, a political meme, a political lefty meme, and then all of a sudden they'll have 10 different fucking right wingers just like, no, you're just tearing them a fucking part in their comments and shit, and of course, and they're, and they get scared, and of course that's why I believe they're trying to censor anybody who's a right winger, basically, because you're scaring the lefties. They're just trying to learn politics, and they're just thinking that everyone's just gonna get all along, and we're all just gonna share, and everyone's just gonna be happy. They don't, accept reality. But and then of course
human nature.
Right. Exactly, man. And like I said, I made that analogy that it's kind of like when an older dude or something is trying to play some video games online or something, trying to play a little bit of Call of Duty, and then next thing you know, you're getting fucking raped by a 10-year-old kid, and he's calling you a bitch and fucking every ass name in the book, telling you he's gonna fucking dick slap your mom and shit like that. And it's like, oh, I'm just trying to play games. Like this is that's why I say the two worlds.
I think that, okay, it's called, it's referred to as cancel culture or what have you, right? But I think it really started rolling in with the whole fucking PC thing. That was the original fucking moniker. Yeah. All right. And fucking, we were warned. We were warned by fucking George Carlin, you know what I mean? For instance, and, several other fucking big names. And, they try to tell us that this is censorship. This isn't, being politically correct at all. There's nothing about censorship. And it started off, like you said, like it's hurting feelings. Well, then they saw how it worked, and they built these, these algorithm systems. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and fucking monitor the shit. They saw how it worked. They saw how easily it was, to be able to basically monitor speech and manipulate speech. Right. And then they said, well, let's try this out on fucking political shit, right? So then it's evolved. And I think Trump helped bring that in, man, because it started kicking in during his campaign, right? Yeah. And he rarely said shit about it. And then once he got into office, his biggest supporters and the people that helped get him there were systemically removed across the internet, fucking depersoned, memory hold, whatever you want to call it. And he didn't do shit about it, man. And then he didn't start speaking out until they started coming for him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then it was like, well, it's too late now, bro. Now there's nobody here to fucking help you because you didn't help anybody else, man.
Yep. Cat's out of the bag, man. I don't know. Do you think it started with this whole his war against the fake news and stuff like that? Like I say, it's a weapon that he kind of enacted. Just his whole like, oh, you can't say that stuff, and then next thing you know, now they're the shoes on the other foot now, and now they're completely censoring us. I don't know. Do you think that's kind of maybe where the whole idea of political censorship came from? Maybe is from, like I say, his war against the fake news.
I mean, I personally don't see it that way. Like I said, it kind of started in the beginning of that, and it was actually really the end of Obama's term is really what it was. I mean, obviously Trump was running for president, but it really started in favor of Obama, and I believe it started with the intelligence agencies, and just like Schumer said, hold on, you got old Snively Schumer, fucking saying that you don't fuck with the intelligence agencies because they got 1,000 ways from fucking, whatever to screw you over. And I think that's what it is, man. Just like fucking old Lizardberg just came out and said, they came in to hit him up and told him, like, look, you need to censor this shit. Obviously, that was, a platform-wide thing. Not just Facebook, what have you, but all across platform, Twitter, all of them.
Yep.
Pretty obvious. Just like the Jones removal,
Yeah. Shit, fucking. So I wanted to fucking kind of touch on something a little bit different. Fucking. So what do you think of all the fucking 86 or 87,000 new IRS workers, and all of a sudden now everyone's fucking starting to get there? I think I saw a headline for fucking someone got arrested in Florida for like 2.9 million in fucking COVID relief fraud or something like that. We're just starting to see people that defrauded the entire COVID relief system. They're starting to get arrested left and right now. All these people that were like oh everyone's doing it right now. It's not like they're going to be able to arrest all of us. Like, well, not if they hire 87,000 new people to investigate every single last one of you guys. Then they might be able to, I think that's what a lot of these new people are about, because from all the COVID relief fraud that was running rampant during, COVID. And
I think the full hiring spectrum's over like a decade, and there's and it coincides with a bunch of retirements and what have you. So it's not really going to be like all of a sudden boom. But I mean, obviously they're hiring armed forces for a fucking reason, dude.
Yeah.
You don't run ads like we've seen and buy billions of rounds of ammo, and it's like we're just gonna push buttons.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Fucking, I don't know, pretty intense stuff going on with the IRS, man. I mean, it's, dude, the fucking founding fathers would literally be fucking rolling in their graves like so fast that they're fucking, yeah, like Jesus, dude. Like literally, this country was built on fucking against fucking no taxation without representation, and literally, dude, what the fuck is going on here? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and especially the current programs, right? All this shit going out fucking to Ukrainians, man. The whole student forgiveness program, that is straight up fucking taxation without representation. Right. There was no votes held. I didn't get to fucking vote with my rep or fucking, there was no state anything. I mean, yeah. So where was I represented in that?
Right. Absolute ridiculousness going on right now, man. So hopefully fucking, well, we'll see what happens after these midterms. I mean, I don't know. There's not really much, denying it right now. Fucking, it's going to be a Republican fucking midterm, definitely. I mean, even Joe Rogan's saying, fucking, go vote Republican, you guys. But
and the Trump picks are fucking murdering it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fucking highest endorsement rate in American history. Like, that's.
I mean, I gotta say, right? It's just like we were saying earlier, though, bro. It's a 50-50 thing. It's a you like half of them you could do without for sure.
Right. So let's offend some people real quick. What do you think of the Trump absolutists? The people that you can do no wrong. Fucking if not Trump, nobody. Like
I think they should probably stay off the fucking keyboards for a minute. They need to unplug and fucking, you know what I mean?
Right.
Hang out with your fucking girl or something, man.
Exactly. Yeah, fucking the Q people, man. It's absolute hilarity. Fucking.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the extreme of what you're talking about, but in reality, man, I mean, I believe that most of them, believe that just like the extreme left, that in their heart they're right, dude. Everything they believe is true.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a little cognitive dissonance in there, but at the same time, man, extreme. Personalization is it's wrong no matter what, man. Nobody's above fucking the rest of us. We're all just human, man, and it's going to take more than one person to fix this country.
Yep. It's not going to be an overnight thing too, man. That's one thing a lot of people don't seem to really notice too is it took a long time for us to get to this fucking shitty of a place. It's going to take a long time for us to get back. If not, then it's going to be of course perceived as authoritarian fucking dictatorship, Nazis, blah blah blah, and that's it's been a slow pull to fucking get us to the communist states of America, and it's going to be a long pull to get us back out, and it's like I said, it's going to come from a lot of it's people reading more, people fucking looking at both sides. That's why I like advocating for ground news quite often. Ground news, guys, definitely fucking check out ground news, man. If you're not sure what side you lean on, read both. Read the middle. Read all of them. Read the headlines from the left. Read the headlines from the right. Check out the differences in them. It's excellent tool. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones out there. Just Ground is my favorite one that I like to use. But there's people need to really just start paying closer attention as to what's going on in the world that we live in.
I think I hate to say it, and as much as I would love to see us go back to a pure capitalist country. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think the best we can hope for is like a trimmed up hybrid, right? And that's where, like you were saying earlier about the possibility of coming together, trying to work together. That would be actual shit. Like sit down. Okay, we're going to give you this program, but in order for you to have this program, this amount of spending has to be cut, and it's got to go back and forth. Right. And I mean, and we can have a strong defense, man. Without, what is it now? Like, I think it's almost 70% of the entire GDP goes to military spending. I mean, that's madness, man.
Right.
Who is that helping? Really. I mean, you're helping other countries, what it is. I believe a lot of that budget's rolled in with the fucking country building we do.
Right. Exactly. Fucking don't we have like the highest fucking military spending out of like, I mean, obviously in the world, but I mean like fucking out of like most of the other top countries like combined or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. More than China and Russia combined, for sure.
Yeah. And a lot of it doesn't even go to our own military. Again,
Yeah.
I don't really know
I
for
have,
sure, but I know that we do
I
give
think I
our
have a scale I
hand-me-downs.
can send you.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, I do believe. I mean, obviously, we give away pretty much all of our hand-me-downs and shit to other nations, you know, and then we just buy new shit every year, and then we preach about how guns are bad, you know.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but that's like one of the few things I've ever agreed with fucking old Miss Teeth on OAOC. She, when she said when she came in her freshman year there in Congress that they appointed the Pentagon $800 billion more than they asked for their yearly fucking budget. They just like, here's a bonus, basically,
Right.
like almost $1 trillion, man.
Right.
Like, are you shitting me? Like, well, you know what I mean? You know what that could have done internally for the rest of the country?
Right.
Like, but, or not spending it all, just keeping it off the goddamn deficit sheet. Like, that would have been great, too.
Right, man. If I can, but no, we got to be a Team America, world police, you know?
Yeah.
All right. You want to go ahead and start wrapping it up, man? If I can hit some bong rips, we've been going about a good 45 minutes now.
Sure.
If I can,
that was a good show. Damn good show.
damn good. If I can, if you guys are not,
Yeah, it's been a while.
If you guys are not already subscribed to the Liberty Swine channel, definitely get over there. Subscribe to the Liberty Swine channel. Fucking, he's doing some absolute hilarity. Fucking, a lot of super cuts. A lot of fucking, fucking just different, cuts from all over the internet. Fucking, well put together. Fucking, absolute hilarity. Fucking, a lot of very informative. Definitely go check him out. We appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out the episodes. As I did mention at the beginning, we are gonna get back to recording more often and stuff. But let's go ahead and rip some bowls real quick, man.
Yeah, it's been a while there. Glad to be back, man. Hope to fucking get back to some good convos and fucking hopefully some debates, man. And keep picking it up, brother.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah. Well, we appreciate all you guys. Fucking like, subscribe. Fuck off.
Smell you later.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, bitch.